I'm not sure if it is my internet problem or your internet problem, because I'm not sure if you can hear me clearly.
We can able to hear you. We can able to hear you, ma'am.
It's not very easy to get
Good morning.
Can you hear me?
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Sri Akilandeswari Women's College Silver Jubilee International Webinar. So we're going to start the session now, and we have Dr. Wang Lu from China is going to be joining us for the first session. And I request Dr. Maithili, the principal of Sri Akilandeswari Women's College Wandiwash, to give a small introduction about the speaker of today's session.
Good morning, one and all. I am happy to see all of you. Welcome, Ms. Lu Wang, Dr. Lu Wang. You are welcome to India, and you are welcome to address our rural women children. Thank you, Professor, for accepting our invitation to be the chief guest. Thank you so much. And I am very happy to see my professors as well as my students after a very long period. Don't worry, we are back. We are back, and Lu Wang, she has selected and a very appropriate topic, that is movement of labor between countries, opportunities and challenges. That is suitable, that is befitting topic for this hour. So with this view, and she is a very good personality. Her biodata goes into pages. I don't want to take her much time, but only one thing. I was wondering how she has come up to this level. The only reason is she is a student center. She is about student welfare. Yes, whoever may be the person, whatever be the credentials she has, unless and until if students are not taken care of, academician cannot come up in her life. And a live model is here, Lu Wang's. With these few words, and she has bagged a lot of awards and other things. She has done a lot of projects and other things. So I don't want to take much time because she is a very, very busy lady. So with this few words, I welcome Lu Wang to address our gathering. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Maithili, for a warm introduction. Okay. And its session is over to Dr. Wang Lu.
Okay. So I start now, right? So hi everyone. So it's a privilege to be able to speak even in this unusual way. Can you hear me clearly? Yes.
Yes, ma'am. We can hear you. We can hear you. You can go ahead.
So let me introduce myself first. So I'm an associate professor in Wenzhou University in China. So this is my email address. If you have further questions for my topic, so you can just email me we can have further discussions. Okay, my topic is a movement of labor between countries, opportunity and challenges. So I know you would rather be here on campus, and I wish you could be there, right? But I'm glad we could all do our part to reduce the transmission of COVID-19 and stay healthy. So over the past several months, the coronavirus has spread around the globe, infecting millions and claiming far too many lives. It has come to nearly every community and everyone influenced, right? So this crisis has been a wake-up call for all of us. It threatened economies. So it also influenced a lot about Chinese economies. According to the National Bureau of Statistics, Chinese economy fell 6.8% in the first column this year. And according to the IMF's data, so world economy just shrink 3% in the first column this year. So it definitely shows that coronavirus maybe in the future, when everything just goes well, it's also an opportunity for like different countries just to change or update our immigration policies. That's why like, okay, let's keep going and think more about this. Maybe from my topic, my lectures, you can have some, insights. So it enlightens you to think more about this labor movement just topic, okay? Then when I try to discuss about our lectures, 2 questions I want you to think. So first one, so does immigration lower wages? What do you think? So when you try to think about this question, so you didn't need to know about immigration first, right? What immigration means. So most of you, I think, know about immigration, right? Definitely, it's like a movement of people into a destination countries, which they are not natives, or where they don't process citizenship in order to settle or reside there, especially as permanent residents or natural citizens, or to take up employment as a migrant worker or temporarily as a foreign worker. So if you try to study abroad, maybe you try to study in China or in the US, definitely as an international student, you are temporarily immigrants for China or for US. Or if you try to find a job in China or US or even other places, also you are temporarily immigrants for these countries. And you this kind of immigration activities. So, or maybe not only you, a lot of immigrants just enrolled into a country. Does this immigration lower the wages in the host countries? What do you think? So, then I try to discuss more about this in the late part. Immigration. Excuse me?
Yes, ma'am, you can proceed.
Okay. Okay. So then second question, which industries expand because of immigration? So actually, even for the US, they President Trump, they mentioned about immigration now. It seems US government impose more restrictive policies towards immigration. But the situation is even President Trump, they welcome to immigrants high-skilled workers in STEM field. Do you know STEM field? So STEM field. So it means science, technology, engineering, and math field. So, and also China, Chinese government just update our immigration policies this year, try to immigrant more high-skilled workers to China. Then it's also think about, so this means the countries, if they try to immigrant more laborers for in that industries, definitely this industry they try to expand, or really because of this kind of immigration activity, it will be expand, right? So, and it's just very simply at the beginning. So for the whole lectures, we will cover these 2 questions. I hope you can also have more understanding about our topic based on these 2 questions. Then for the so how immigration influence wages? First, so we will study the movement of labor across countries and investigate what immigration needs to fall in the wages as expected in the short run. And in the short run, we use specific factor models to analyze about this. Why I mentioned a specific factor model can analyze about a fall in the wage and in the short run. Definitely think about nowadays why a lot of countries, they just treat immigration as a threat for the local citizens. because definitely, so like temporary immigration to these countries, like definitely brings a very high competition for the local citizens who work in the same industries or same period. Then, because of this, so like local citizens, they are afraid they would lose jobs in the future, and their salary would like decrease because of like more like laborers will just exist in the like labor market. That's also why like labor unions in the US, they asked for like restrict the foreign like immigration to these countries, because they feel like it's a high pressure for them to accept like immigration. Makes sense, right? Think more about this. I will give more explanations for these sessions. And next, then like in case some of you may not know about specific factor model, I try to explain this first. Specific factor model means only labor can move between different sectors, different industries. Land and agriculture industries, they can only be used in land and capital can only be used in their like unlike industries. For example, like land can only use in agricultural industry, and capital can be only used in the manufacturing industry. This like a factor of land and capital, they can't move between different industries. Only labor can move. And in the long run, I use like HO theory, HO model to analyze about labor movement. In this section, so both land and labor can move between industries. And because of this, in the long run, so like an increase in labor will not longer lower the wages, because labor and land can move between like different industry. It means they can just get adjusted. Then it means in the long run, so like immigration will not influence the like wages. Okay, we will start here, and I will give you more explanation in the later part. Let's keep moving. So this finger, look at this finger first. It shows the like in the short run like specific factor models, how like immigration influences the wages. This finger shows the home wage is determined at the point A. The interaction of the marginal product of labor curves in manufacturing industry and agricultural industry respectively. And the amount of labor used in manufacturing industry is measured from OM to L, from left to right. And the amount of labor in the agricultural industry is measured from right to left, starting from OA. Then like at point A, OML, unit of labor, are used in manufacturing industry, and OAL, unit of labor, are used in the agricultural industry. Then both like laborers, just two industry in the home country we assume, and both like laborers in these two industry, we just like plus them together, it's the whole laborers in this like country. Then let's see, when like immigration happened, so the amount of labor just increased in, so immigration can happen, so labor just increased by the amount of their single L. Then the original for like agricultural shift to the right by the amount from OA to OA absent. Then the marginal product of labor curve in agriculture also shift from to the right by the amount of single L. So equilibrium in the like home market is now at point B. Then you can see, because like increase of the labor, then like the wage just decrease in the short run, right? So you can clearly see this from these two figures. Then in order to explain more about this, I just took like a real case to like explain to you about in the short run. So how like immigration influenced the wages. So from like 1870 to 1900. So this era is like so large scale migration from European countries to New World in America and Australia. So before immigration, before like 1970, so excuse me?
Yes, Professor, you can proceed. You're clear.
Okay. Okay, yeah, it's okay for me. How about you guys? Can you hear clearly?
Yeah, we can hear you. You can go ahead, Professor.
Okay. So sometimes I just heard some voice. I just, in case you just can't hear clearly, or maybe you have some questions. Okay, let me keep going. So before 1970s, actually, so because the labor like population in the like New World is not very big, and the labor population in the European countries, Europe, it seems very large population. So, and also there are a lot of like skilled laborers in the European countries. Then like the wage in the European countries actually is low, and the wage in the New World, so Australia and America, actually is high. And because of this, a lot of like persons who work in the European countries, they try to just migrate to the New World in Australia and America. Then because of these immigration activities, you can see the New World's like wage, labor wage just decrease because of this like huge number of like immigration, and also because a lot of like labor just move out from European countries. So European countries like labor price is also increased a little bit because of less population than before. So this kind of immigration activity actually both benefit for European countries and the New World. And New World is since they get more populations and lower the wage. And the European countries, their like wage just increase, and also they just you know, their like labor market competition is not as high as previously, right? So in the short run, immigration benefit for the like home countries, and at some point, although it seems reduce the wage in the host countries, but it still just helps the countries in the big perspectives. Makes sense, right? Then let's see other effects of immigration in the short run. So if wage fail, then there is more left over as earnings of capital and rental. So the rentals are high. So wage lower, so rentals for land is high. It's because these two factors in the one industry, right? So definitely because wage is like lower, so like the owners for the land, they try to hire more laborers. Then so labor price decrease, and then like they also demand more land to expand the production. So the rental price even higher. So as more labor is hired in each industry, then the increase of the marginal product occurs because each machine of acre of land just like work for like workers available to be, and these machines of acre of land is there and become more productive. So that's why like marginal product of the capital and land rise, and so do their like rentals. Then let's see what about in the long run. In the long run, so in the long run, this like figure shows in the long run situations. We know about in the short run actually. So short run immigration definitely reduces the wages for the host countries. And I mentioned before, in the long run, it seems wage will not influence. Why? So let's see this figure, because in the long run, we use HO model, and also land and labors can move between different sectors. Then this table shows what real it means. So the top and the bottom axis of the box diagram measures amount of the labor. So L, labor, right? L bar. In the economy and the side axis measures amount of capital. We just use K bar to measure it. At point A, so OSL units of labor and OSK units of capital are used in shoe productions. And OCL units of labor and OCK units of capital are used in computer. Then the KL ratio, it means capital labor ratio in the two industries, are measured by the slope of OSA and OCA respectively. So then like this just like the wage influence not just by the labor, so the number of labor itself, it's really influenced by the slope. So each amount of labor and capital used in this figure, so a long line OSA correspondent to a particular capital labor ratio for shoe manufacturing, and also like it influences the rental and the wage price. When the total amount of labor and capital used in each industry changes, then the capital labor ratio are affected by the immigration. That's why like immigrants can be absorbed with no change at all in the real wage and the real like rental. So you can see more clearly from this figure. So even labor just increased, but slope, it seems no change. That's why like capital labor ratio is not changed. Then because like labor and land can move between each different sectors. So that's why like laborers, if you think about when just maybe like a foreign workers move to a new country, like move to US, then he worked in shoe industry, and then he realized that in the shoe industry his labor price is just very low because of like temporary immigration, because of high competition for the shoe industry. Then he may think about, in order to increase his labor, he tried to maybe go back to study in the university, or maybe go back to accept training to transfer to like work in computer industry. Then the labor number for these two industries may like equal to each other. Then that's why like the labor price in the future, it may not change. More make sense, right? So that's why like capital labor ratio can be more like suitable to analyze about the labor immigration, how like immigration influence the labor price in the long run. Then let's see like effects of immigration in the long run, other effects. So determine the wage and rental in the economy. We use the marginal products of labor and capital, which are determined by the capital labor ratio in either industry, as I mentioned before, right? If there is a higher capital labor ratio, it means more machines per worker. Then by the law of diminishing returns, the marginal product of capital and the real rental must be lower. And having more machines per workers means the marginal product of labor. So it means the wage is higher because each worker is more productive. So you need to notice about this, not just means like labor or rental, it really means like a ratio, capital labor ratio. Then there is a theory called Robertzinski theory. This theory states in the HO model with two goods and two factors. Two goods previously in the figures, right? Shoes and computers. Two factors, so land capital and labor, right? So an increase in amount of factor found in an economy will increase the output of industry using that factor intensively and decrease the output of other industry. So it seems influence one industry, but so and other industry also influenced by this industry, right? So we have proved that Rebecca-Zinsky theory for the case of immigration, where labor is economical, can grow. Then let's see this like immigration for the factor prices. Factor prices don't need to change as a result of immigration, as I mentioned before, because labor, they can get adjusted through that movement, and capital also can get adjusted through this like movement between two industries. Then the reason that factor prices don't need to change is that the economic can absorb the actual amount of factor by increasing the output of the industry, using the factor intensively and reducing the output of other industry. So that's why like you can see that like factor price intensively result just to show out. Then like so factorize will not change because about like this labor price is no change in the long run. Then I will use another real case help you to more understand more about this kind of in the long run. Why like immigration don't influence the like wage price. So I use another example like Cuba refugees, inflow of Cuban refugees in 1980 from Cuba to the Miami. You know about Miami, right? Miami is like a city in the US in Florida state. It's a very like it's a tourism state, a tourism city. Okay, so maybe you know more about this about okay, Universal Studio and Disneyland is in Florida, and Miami is a very famous city in the Florida. Okay, so this figure shows about like inflows of refugees from Cuba. So you know different color shows different like different trends. So compare with Miami and other cities rather than like Miami. Then also compare the like they're like a real value added in the appeal like industries. Okay, so we can see because of like inflows of refugee, so like a real value added in the appeal industry in Miami rose from 1983 to 1984. So you can see that rather like lines, it seems increased rapidly, right? And the trend declines of this industry in Miami was slowly. Okay, trend just declined. Then like after 1980s, then in the comparing cities, another situation is real value added in Miami in high skilled industry fell faster after 1980s than in the comparison cities. So both of these findings. So it seems appeal industry just feel like a little less, and other industry also feel less. So it seems this like immigration of like refugees just help to compensate and also complement each other to match the real situations in the Miami. Then like these like findings can consistent with Rebecca-Zinsky theory and match to what I mentioned before. In the long run, it seems like because laborers can move between different industries, then like their labor rate can just get adjusted. Then let's see another figures. So it's a very beautiful figure, right? About world map. Then these figures just shows foreign-born migrants in 2013. The number of foreign migrants living in selected countries and regions. So the level of migration is illustrated by the widest of the lines. with the largest migrant numbers have the heaviest lines and the smallest have dashed lines. Can you find, so which country or area has biggest immigrants? Which country or area have like lowest immigrants? Or which country or area has biggest immigrants? So which country or area has like lowest immigrants? So we see, normally we know about Canada and US. It seems like areas, they just like receive a lot of different like immigrants from different countries, right? Include China and India, right? It seems in the US, according to their like national data, it seems China is the #1 immigrants like citizenships in the like US, and India is #2. Okay, then like this is very like so it seems not like surprise us, right? Then let's see European areas. Actually, European countries, they do a lot of labor movement between their countries, these countries. There are a lot of reasons to support this. First, because like they established labor union, like European Union. So a lot of policies, they just they establish same like currencies, same like financial policies. So it's easier for them to move. Also nowadays, the like coronavirus definitely influence the labor movement between countries because of the you know, country lockdown like policies. So that's also, it's definitely negative influence like European countries like economies, right? And let's go back to see like China and other Asian countries. It seems started in 2013. So China and other Asian countries, including India, right? So they have a lot of like immigrants. Why? It's because of time limitation, I can't give you more figure to support this. But definitely 2013 is a very interesting year because, you know, in the 2012, China established a very common, or you may heard about this, like the Road and Belt initiatives. And this Road and the One Road and Belt initiative definitely influenced China's like economic cooperation with other countries. Then it seems to create a lot of opportunity for peoples in other countries to invest or to work in China. And definitely other countries may have other kind of situation. So that's why like China and other Asian countries, them like attract a lot of immigrants in 2013. Then another very interesting situation is Japan. Japan is a very like typical city. If we try to analyze about Asian, so all Asian countries actually is different, especially particularly Japan, right? Japan, it seems, has a not very big population to immigrants and not very like big, you know, a lot bigger population to immigrants. It seems Japan is like it's a country not easy to like you know, get adjusted to other culture, and also other culture is not very easy to get adjusted to Japanese like customs. So it's another topic. Okay, if you try to know more about this, maybe you can like research more. It seems also an interesting topic. Before 2010 or even like 2005, so like Japan actually previously has like a lot of people, you know, immigrants from Japan, and they also try to attract a lot of like persons, immigrants in Japan. But then like they realize it's instant work. So it's another topic. Okay, I because of time limitation. So if you have more questions, just feel free to email me about this. Okay. Then let's see another finger. This finger is millennial like migration. So you know about millennial, right? It means very, very rich persons, right? rich persons, their like wealth, their wealth is more than 1 million like US dollars, right? So this person's migration, can you tell me which country is the biggest like minimum immigrants, and which country is the biggest like minimum immigrants? Easy to find, right? So you can see China, it seems like it's like the top 1 country, top 1 minimum like immigrants countries, right? See like negative like 15,000. Then it's in 2018, I think, right? Then this like means, but like although China just suffered a lot of like minimum immigrants, but China do create more like minor like persons, because since now in China we're still like developing countries, we just created a lot of like attractive policies for people to expand their industries, to create like monies like this. And 2 countries just have top 1 or 2 like minimum immigrants include like US and Australia. They do have a lot of factors influence they to like immigrant persons. Maybe because about their like a stable like political policies, or their like environment, or maybe their like institution is their like better education opportunities, or community good like community, not sure. Previously, I did some research on like state inclinations for like Chinese students, why they try to stay in the US or why they try to return to China. So when they try to study in the US, and also I did some research on like why international students they try to like stay in China when they graduate, and why they try to return to their home country. So definitely there are a lot of factors influence their like decision-making process. And then also you need to notice about when just like workers, foreign workers, they try to stay in the like host countries. It means a very big like bring gains for these like host countries. And at the same time, it means a very big like bring joy for the home countries. They are like different countries, they try to establish different kind of attractive policy to attract or to like keep their like citizens to live there in their home countries. They all avoid the like bring jobs, because it's also very painful to lose like skilled workers, right? So like when I just studied, I studied in the US, like I got my PhD degree there. So when I returned, so like both 2 countries have different policy to like, okay, attract me to go back to China, or like attract me to stay in the US. So definitely I just analyzed both like, push and pull factors. Then I made my decision. So it's my decision. Definitely a lot of different like temporary foreign workers, they have different ideas. So if you try to know more about this, definitely they are like a huge like research topic for you to like think and discuss about this. Okay, then let's see like another example for the US, immigration to the US. Why like in my like lectures, I use a lot of US like example, because till now like US still a very like diverse countries, and it like receive a lot of like immigrants in this country. So that's why like, and their immigration policy, although like we may not agree with this, it seems they still have a long time to get adjusted. So then it can implicate us some like ideas. So for these like figures, it shares foreign-born workers in the US. So in the 2013, so you can see in this figure, so majority of the US born workers, they have like a middle level education degree, right? So 82% of them, they have like education level like between high school graduates and bachelor degree. So it's also can implicate foreign-born workers if you try to work in the US. It's not very easy for you to find a job if you just have like bachelor degree or like high school degree, because you need to compete with this huge like amount of the citizens, US citizens. And then you can also see 7% of the US born workers have education degree less than like 12 years. And so 11% of US born workers, they have like education level just higher than like master. So that means, so low skilled workers, it's also like can like find like some low skilled jobs in the US. So why like, you know, in the US, actually Mexican food is very popular. So that's why like a lot of Mexican like persons, they can still move to the US to find jobs there. And also another like field is like who have like master degree or PhD degree, like me, when I just graduated in the US. So I have PhD degree. It's easier for me to like stay in the US, and it's easier for me to get sponsorship. It seems because they lack these two like field of like worker, then they can just establish some policy to just attract these like workers to enter into the US. But at the same point, it's also like, you know, President Trump tried to establish the war between US and Mexico. And he also tried to ask Mexico to pay for this, right? Although it's ridiculous. But it seems if they just, his intention is try to stop the illegal immigrants to the US. But sometimes it's also like, you know, Mexico, so a lot, there are a percentage of this Mexico person is working in the low-skilled field. It seems also matched to the job market in the US, but it's still another consideration because US government also has like poison like consideration and other consideration. So it's like another topic, okay? Then you can see like from 1990 to 2006, so immigration and US wages, it seems shows like this. Then it can you find if it matched to what I mentioned before or not? So see the effects of immigration on all US workers. You can see in the short run, it seems like immigration actually cost all like US citizens reduce their wages. While in the long run, it seems to get adjusted. Although like we mentioned before, because in the long run, because like still like the low level education workers, they still lack, or they still maybe like a huge number of the immigrants are there. So that's why like it seems this area is not get adjusted, right? And let's see the like for US born workers versus like foreign born workers. And the like immigration influence for previous foreign born workers more than local citizens, because previous foreign born workers can be like more competitive to current foreign born workers. So they like compete with each other. Then the previous foreign-born workers like salary actually influenced a lot by the current foreign-born immigrations. I'm sorry, is it the all like time? I'm not sure because like previous like Donna told me I just have 40 minutes. is it down for me to like complete my like?
No problem, ma'am. You
Speech?
can continue as there is no Q&A, so you can continue as you wish.
Okay. So I think if you would like choose, I can also share another like research from like refugee issues. So if you feel okay, so I can also stop here to let you ask some questions. What do you like? What do you prefer?
Yes, ma'am. You can just proceed with your presentation. If you need more time, you can proceed.
Okay. Okay. So like here, so if you try to know more about, I can give you another example about refugees to the like EU. So like this issue is very popular and it's very common in the European countries, because like previously I attended some international conferences. So each like scholars who coming from the US, like they just mentioned about their like research just based on the refugee issues. Definitely it influences like European countries like policies, education, economy, and every side. So that means like this like refugees movement, immigrants to the European countries definitely influence a lot for them, like even their like every communities, every daily life. Then like let's start from the Brussels resume policies. These policies in 2016, this is a new regulation policies for the European like Commission that refugees were not shut out automatically whenever a country faces a sudden influx of the migrants. This was in response to the flood of the immigrants from the Middle East and Africa who were seeking asylum and entered the European Union, creating a crisis at the European countries were overwhelmed with the inflow, some more than others. And there's several largest nationalities claiming asylums include people from Syria, Afghanistan, and other countries. So like a lot of like scholars, economic scholars, they mentioned about refugees, it seems refugees is like burden. So because refugees in like, it seems refugees just influence like world economies, so bring more competitions in the job market and brings more like security problems. And definitely it seems increase the burden for issues to what I mentioned before about so how like immigration just influence in the short run and in the long run.
Hello, ma'am. You would like to show the screen sharing again? Yeah. Professor Wang.
Hello.
Yes, you are audible. You are audible now. Yes, yes, Professor.
Okay, so can I keep going or
just... Yes, please. You can go ahead. You can make it full screen.
Okay. Okay. here. Oops. So because like for the refugee issue, most refugees are low-skilled workers. So that's why like these low-skilled workers can be compensated for the domestic low-skilled like job opportunity, job positions. Then instead of displacing each other, they use like a Danish people who lived in communities where refugees arrived, so that wages grow more quickly than those communities without refugees. So the study confirmed an effect that Perry had already observed among communities that received immigrants in the US and Germany. So the reason is that an influx of the workers with different skills encourage people to specialize in jobs, and they are uniquely suited for, which helps business and economy to go. But I also try to like emphasize about this. This is still like a suitable number of refugees. But if this like number of refugees is definitely over the demands for the local low-skilled market, it seems another story. So then like I think this like all of this like immigration influence, wages influences the like the world economies. You can also analyze from different perspectives, use different examples. So, but if you just master the theory of specific factor model theory and the HO model theory, and basically from this theory, you can analyze about the different problems in different situations. This is also a case study, an example for you if you are interested in, so you can just analyze yourselves. And also I show the results in the next PP slides. I will share this PP slides with all of you in case you try to review this. Okay, I think that's all for me. Hello.
Yes, Professor. Yes, you're done. Yes, Professor.
Okay, any questions?
Yeah. 1 second. Yeah.
Okay.
So, Dr. Maithili.
Okay.
Dr. Yeah. Ma'am, you can unmute yourself, ma'am. Dr. Maithili, you can unmute yourself.
Hello, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Now I will ask one question, ma'am. Ma'am is there? Lu Wang ma'am is there?
Yes, ma'am. She's here.
Ma'am, you have said that migrated persons are asset to that particular area, and they are becoming complement to each other. In what way, ma'am? By way of sharing their knowledge and skills? You said that in a particular slide, instead of replacing the local population, they have become complement to each other. And as a result, they have become an asset. Ma'am, can you hear me, ma'am?
Sorry.
Hello.
So my like.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear, but it's like just stop and keep going. So it's.
I'm very happy to read that line. That is the migrated persons or asset.
Okay, sorry.
I'm very happy to, because it's a very catching word. But in what way they are complementing each other, ma'am? In what way they are complementing each other? By way of sharing their skills, ma'am? Hello.
Dr. Wang, the question, I'm just rephrasing the question Dr. Maithili asked.
No,
so,
sorry. It's not audible, sir.
Okay.
What I asked, she could understand.
Yeah.
But the answer is not coming back.
Okay. In which way you are telling that the workforce which you said is an asset for the particular country. In which way you're mentioning, whether it's a skill-based or financial asset? That's what Dr. Maithili is trying to say.
Okay, particular country, which?
You have mentioned, ma'am, migrated persons or asset of that particular area. They are complement to the local
I mean,
person.
you can just code it, just write down.
No need.
Yeah, fine. Thank you, Professor Wang. So no worries. I think it was some technical glitches, I guess. So thank you so much for your great presentation you have been offered to us today. So we had a good number of participants watching in YouTube and also in the Facebook. So now I request Dr. Tamilselvi, the head of the...
So maybe you can just type it. It's just like stop and keep going. It's not consistently, so I can't catch up with it.
Yeah. I think there is no more questions from the participants. There is no more questions from the participants, I guess. So
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
let's
go for the vote of thanks by one of the professor.
Okay.
Yeah. So I request Dr. Tamilselvi, the head of the Department of Commerce, to proceed with the vote of thanks.
Okay, so can I leave now or?
Hello, sir. Audible, sir?
It's audible, man. You can proceed, please.
Okay, then. Good afternoon to all. It's my privilege to propose a vote of thanks on this international webinar. My foremost thanks to Almighty for His blessings showered on us. It's my privilege to thank Honorable Lion B. Munirathinam, sir, Founder and Chairman, respected Lion M. Ramanan, sir, Secretary and former Member Syndicate, Tiruvallur University, Vellore, for giving us an opportunity to organize this event. I also wish to express my sincere gratitude to our principal, Dr. S. Maithili, for providing encouragement and support. I would like to extend a special thanks to Ms. K. Suguna, Vice Principal and IKH Coordinator. My special thanks to Honorable Resource Person, Dr. Wang Lu, Associate Professor, Chair of Applied Economics in Entrepreneurship Management Master's Program.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Dr. Tamilselvi, for your closing remarks, and thank you, Professor Wang, for your kind presentation in the morning. So it'll be very helpful for the participants, all the participants who have been attending through the YouTube and also through the Zoom live. So we're looking forward to have you in the further sessions, and we look forward to work with you in the future. So thank you so much and best wishes.
Thank you for your cooperation. Sorry, because so in case you have some questions, email me. Just keep in touch. Okay.
Sure, Professor. So thank you, Dr. Wang, for your kind gesture today morning. So thank you so much, and thank you all the YouTube participants. And the feedback link will be posted in the afternoon session. The feedback link will be posted in the afternoon session. There will be 2 sessions today. So there will be no feedback link for the morning session. The feedback link will be posted in the afternoon session. So please join us back around 3:30 today afternoon, so that the feedback link will be posted for the afternoon sessions. So thank you so much, and all the best to all the participants, all the professors who have joined us today. So thank you so much.